Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Run It Up number 56. We are here today playing some $1, $2, no limit Texas Hold'em on UltimatePoker.com. If you look and see, it's a little different than usual. We're actually playing a 9-handed table, so the max buy-in is 50 big blinds. That's just how it's set up. So I'm not short stacking. I had to buy in for $100. I would usually play 6 max or something else, except for the fact that it is currently 4:20. Yes, that's right, exactly. It is currently 4:20 in the morning, and there's not much choice. So here we are playing some $1, $2. That's right. Hopefully we'll do some work. Let's see what we can do here. Don't know any of these opponents. Haven't really played with this late night crew. Haven't seen any hands, so we're starting pretty fresh here, all in all. Probably going to be defending here with the old 4-9 of hearts. I guess not right now. So let's talk a little bit about the strategy of 50 big blinds. Only a little bit. Don't get too excited and or upset. Yeah, that's right. And or. So 50 big blinds, we have a guy to our right who has 50 big blinds as well. So we'll have to watch him and see how much he's opening, and then we'll have to adjust our strategy based on if he's opening too widely. We'll be attacking with re-raises, calls in position, stuff like that. And we'll have to see if the guy to our left and the cat avatar 2 to our left, we'll have to see how what their general strategy is, how aggressive they are. Looks like there's going to be an all-in here. Just a set against pocket kings. Weird sort of hand where the set checked back on the flop and then flush draw, kings turned to flush draw, and then bet decided not to fold. And that was that all in all. So relatively reasonably played hand pre-flop there. Six is open, called the re-raise. The flop check back I'm less fond of, but yeah. So in this specific instance here, I think we could argue re-raising or calling. Given that we don't know our opponent and he made it 7 and not like 6 or 5, I think calling is okay. I would not hate you if you wanted to re-raise or fold here, but I think it's all right. We can get away with a call in this particular spot. So the question is now, do we want to check raise, check call, or check fold? And I'm not really sure what I want to do here, but I think our hand is just too good to just check fold. Also, there's going to be a lot of times where like we'll check call, and then the turn card will be something like this, and then our opponent might just check back with his like ace threes, just his like straight up give ups, like pocket threes, stuff like that. Maybe hand even as good as like a 4 or something like that once in a while. So if he had checked back, we would have been greenlit to shoot ahead, to shoot away on the river, but it looks like we'll just check fold at this point. Could be making a mistake against some sort of a straight draw, but probably not. Probably not. Over to the button we go with Jack 6 of spades. Don't really want to flat here, A, because, the hand's not that great, but mostly because of O coconut over there with 20 big blinds in the big blind. Also, for a game happening at 4 in the morning, it's got a lot of re-raises. We don't usually see that typically in the run-it-ups. There hasn't been too much of that going on. But look at this action. Re-raise. This is crazy. What is going on here? What is happening? So this is definitely good to know, and that we will definitely not be calling with hands like that. I'm going to have to move the camera to the other side if this player actually does decide to sit in. Going to be min-raising this. I guess I'll do it now just in case. All right, look at that little movie magic for you right there. If you watched yesterday's, by the way, this open is fine because we have an ace, but we're just gonna have to fold here now. We're definitely gonna be in a little bit more lockdown poker than usual. If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, the Heartland Poker Tour Part 2, the exciting, stunning conclusion and finale from last week. If you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. That was a really cool video. I actually edited and like live mixed that video all myself. That's right. How far we've come from the days where I couldn't edit a damn thing. I managed to do that whole thing by myself yesterday. I was pretty proud of that, actually. I don't know. I've been learning. I've been trying to get better at those sorts of things, and that's where we got. Soon enough, I'll be shooting it by myself. We'll be doing a whole crazy thing here. Kids growing up. All right, so we're gonna keep an eye on the cat avatar on the button here because I would expect him to definitely attack the post. Decides to take this hand off though. I'm happy to check. We're a random hand against a random hand. Certainly pretty good flop for us with queen and deuce. Gonna check, give him a chance to bluff. I'm not particularly, there is just no way this guy has anything. But I'm gonna bet $2 here, and maybe there's some chance he'll call us with like a spade draw or nines or something like that. There is no way this guy has his beat. There is no way. I would bet so much that this guy does not have his beat right now. There's just no way. He can have a spade draw. That is it. Because if he had an ace, he would just raise, right? He would just raise. He wouldn't just check. And there is no way I am ever folding on this river. He could bet $40,000 on this river, and I don't think I would fold. As much as that would be, if he has his beat, congratulations. But let's be real. Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here. There is no way. 40K I could have won there. Where's the 40K overbet that I would have potentially considered stationing? That would be really sick if it was like old school style, and he's just like he bets his Cadillac or something, just like the movies. Over to us in the small blind. Decided to limp here with ace 10 offsuit. A little tricky. Happy to bet. Probably have the best hand. We get some value, a little bit of protection, all those good things. So at this point, we've got a fork in the road. Do we want to bet and potentially get him to either call with worse for value, maybe get him to fold a little bit better than us if he has like a deuce? Maybe we get that to fold at some point. And we could also check call. That also would be a reasonable thing. Against the raise here from an aggressive player, I think I'm going to call and probably end up check calling most rivers. When he raises like this, there's not really too many hands that make a ton of sense. Like, way more hands make sense now than when we were playing that guy. So he definitely could have us beat, but what does he really have that makes a lot of sense? Like there's not a ton of hands that make a ton of sense that would play it that way. But yeah, obviously we do lose to an 8 there, which is a little weird. But we've seen him be aggressive in the past, and he just checked pre-flop, so he's probably not too strong there. If he had bet the river, I was actually planning on doing something aggressive because I just don't think he has flushes too often. Let's see. What is the best way? He's skipping the Dear Jake Carver line. What is the best way to meet young poker players in Vegas, get to study and play with other people in a poker house? I assume you don't really mean children. 2 plus 2, maybe. Not really sure, to be honest. Best way to make like live poker friends? Maybe like at the tables somehow, like if you make actual friends, that's a good way to do it. While you're playing live. That's my guess. So we raised pre-flop, bet on the flop. Going to be betting this turn here against 2 people. Neither one of them can be very strong, so I'm happy to give them the business here and just bet, and maybe make a decision to bet river as well. Like, what's the best hand these guys can have? Like ace 10. Ace 10 is nothing. We'll put ace 10 in the cage every day of the week there. We got that one done, no problem. So now we know this guy knows who we are, so we're going to have to make slight adjustments to that. He did re-raise us the first time, though, that we did this min-raising thing with ace 6, and we folded there. I think I would consider calling this if he re-raised, but would not be loving it. How can you be a fan of Run It Up and rock the cat avatar? That's what I want to know. You can't. You can't be. He's like a fraudulent fan over there, Have you learned nothing? Raising it up here with the old ace and king of spades. Great spot for him to attack us. I'm not surprised to see this happen. So we're going to make a smaller re-raise. We feel pretty confident that we have the best hand here, of course, and we want to give him some opportunity to attack us. He might think that we're just attacking, so we want to leave a little bit of room as though we might be able to re-raise fold here. We're also in position, so we put in, we put in $36 or whatever. If he calls this, we're going to have under a pot size bet behind, so we'll make no mistakes here. Like, there's almost no flop we're going to just fold. It'd have to come like Jack 10 9 of all hearts. That would do it. Otherwise, we're never folding almost any reasonable flop for us. This is one of this might be one of them as well. But even this, you know, it's not. We just can't do anything besides bet and call because he has like ace queen, ace jack, and queen, that kind of stuff. So we're gonna bet really small here and then not fold if he shoves. We just are not gonna love it, but we're gonna just have to. If he decides to like shove here as some sort of like weird bluff, he has like ace jack, something like that. We just can't fold. The price is just too good. We could be crushed, but you know, aces and kings are both probably good. So, yep, this hand could have just been straight up pre-flop flipped. Not for us this time though. Pretty standard hand all in all. Like maybe there is some chance I could have checked back flop, but then the problem with that is if we check back flop, we're still not. We just can't fold. There's just no way we can fold because we suspect that he is at least slightly wide. And if we check back and he has any set of overcards and the turn card is like a 4 or like a 3 or something like that, and he just bets, we're in a very weird spot where we want to call, but we're not really sure. So I think betting small and just calling off on the flop is the best play, especially because if we have all of our really good hands, like let's say we have tens plus and ace king, ace queen, something like that, which isn't necessarily exactly right, but let's say we have only good hands in that spot, we definitely want to be betting small and calling it off, and we're very happy with that all in all. I think we just fold this here. We're kind of short stacked. I mean, all right, screw it. $3 in the pile. Why not? Okay. See you later. $3. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if you're just looking for like people to talk poker with, stuff like that. I'm not sure. There probably like Reddit communities that exist, like Reddit Poker Vegas, something like that. I'm not quite sure. Hey, we would have chopped it up. I'm not really quite sure, to be honest, like where the best poker communities are these days. All right. Look at those premium hands. Look at those premium hands. All right, over to the small blind we go. So we're stuck $105 right now, but don't feel too bad about it. Seems like a pretty slam dunk spot to me. We could attack here. I think this would be definitely possible. We suspect this guy is pretty wide, you know, but he hasn't actually like shown down too much like complete air yet. But I think we can re-raise, and if he shoves, we just fold. You know, I mean, as you know, we did just show down ace king in a spot like this. So I think there's no reason to suspect that he's just going to shove with like ace 4 offsuit. It's possible, of course, but there's no reason to necessarily suspect it. If we didn't know our opponent, I'd be a lot more uncomfortable with that play. But I think given everything, that seems like a reasonable thing to do. Gonna just be folding here. Let's pull a question. I've restocked on questions recently. Look at all these questions I've restocked on. And yes, I will recycle the paper. Everyone worried about Fred, don't worry. We'll buy recyclable paper. We'll recycle the recycled paper. Don't worry. It's fine. All right, let's pull a question. I'll pull a new one too. Oh, this one printed weird. A couple of these printed kind of weird. All right. Let's pull a question. Let's pull a question. Oh, this is a long answer. I don't want to do a long one. Let's do a quick one. That's it. Okay. Not sure how this one got to me, but all right. Look at this huge text. All right. Great. I can read it from across the room. That's useful. Dear Jay Carver, love your vids. Thanks. Can you talk about small ball poker, especially the basic principles and why it's profitable? And then some other questions. So, small ball poker is basically just the strategy of, you know, risking a little to win a lot. Like playing like small ball poker means like playing small pots when you're not sure if you're ahead, and then you want to play, you know, bigger pots when you're more confident as to whether or not you're ahead. So like min raising pre-flop is like a core tenet of small ball, generally speaking. And I think 4, 10, 10. I mean, king 10 is so bad in this spot because we're so often dominated. But we're getting a really good price. So mathematically speaking, it might be correct to call, but I think we're going to actually just fold. I'm not sure about this one. This one's close. We know this guy is at least reasonably aggressive. We know this guy doesn't seem like he's like got fantastic decisions going on. He's limped a couple times, stuff like that. So he might be wider than most people, and yeah, don't know if that was. I mean, results obviously, who knows? We did flop top pair, so we weren't going anywhere. That's for sure. Ooh, that was a little loud. So yeah, small ball basically just wants you to play small pots out of position, put a lot of pressure on people. You know, lots of tiny pots, stabbing, jabs, lots of jabs, and is it more? The second question here is it more applicable to MTTs or cash games? It's definitely more applicable to tournaments because in cash games you usually want to play the absolute perfect strategy, and that sometimes will be a high variance, high risk, big raise, get in there, gamble a lot strategy. But it's in tournaments you almost never want to do that. You always want to protect your stack. Going broke has a disastrous element to it. You know, your stack has value whether you have, you know, as long as you're in the tournament, your stack has some value inherent to it. More so than the chips themselves would necessarily indicate to, in most cases, unless you have a ton of chips, then that's not true. But you know, your stack, your being alive in a tournament has some value to it, right? So, so it definitely applies more to tournaments, but certainly in some cash games, it definitely applies as well. And then our friend here says, our team run it up warrior says, a thought of my own. I suspect that small ball isn't as useful at low stakes, where opponents don't usually notice how others are playing. What do you think? Peace. Michael Fisher. He gave me a little fish indicator, or a little fish thing there. Look at that. That's right. That's sweet. Thank you. I mean, it's probably not the greatest thing at small stakes, but it's fine. You know, people will still just, you know, it's fine. It all depends on who. It doesn't matter if they notice what you're doing, if you're noticing what they're doing, you know? Like, I remember when I first started, like, really subscribing to this small ball thing that, you know, people were throwing around. When I first subscribed to that, it blew my mind that you could min raise the button, and some people would defend the big blind with 7 deuce offsuit, and some people would fold like a ridiculous percentage of hands. It was as though you were making it like 4x, you know. So man, this game is kind of crazy. So just a kid with a dream, you know. I understand, the kid with a dream, you know. So if we were fully deep stacked, I suppose we could call here, and there's some chance this guy's just squeezing us all out here. You know, he just suspects that we're all pretty weak and then is attacking us, but there's no reason to necessarily. I mean, he's been kind of loose and aggressive, but, you know, he can do this with a pretty wide range of value hands and stuff like that, and we're in for $4.50. You know, I don't love it by any means. I hate feeling like we're being put in the cage. You know, that's our job. We're the cage masters. But I think we just have to muck that one there. We'll definitely not be calling with loose hands like this, given the dynamic of this game that seems very weird. There's like a bizarre 4 a.m. game going on right now. It's a bit bizarre. Yeah, I mean, coaching is one thing. Not that I'm the coach for you, unless you're like a very specific individual. You have to be like a billionaire. That would do it. Main event, final table list. I'll come out of coaching retirement for that. For the right person. You know, there's really not too many other examples. Celebrities. I did a couple of celebrity coaching things. That'll do it. Yeah. So I don't know if I answered your question fully, but I feel like I was close to it at least. As far as this fella who's cut the line here, it's, you know, I don't really have any great answers for you. You're asking me about like how to make friends. I'm not really the guy to ask that question to. You know, the guy that leaves like this like area of Las Vegas. I think I've left this area of Vegas like since I moved here. Since I moved here 4 months ago. I mean, I don't know. 8 times, something like that. That's not really my department, you know? That's not really my department. All right, let's pull another question. I'll pull an old question. Let's pull an old question out of there. Okay, I like this question. Dear Jay Carver, what is your favorite Lupe Fiasco song? Love, Tom N. Thanks, Tom N. That's a good question. My favorite Lupe Fiasco song is, for sure, Hurt Me Soul. Definitely is the best. It's the best song ever. Lyrically, it's just beautiful. It's amazing. There is that one line that I won't try to recreate for you, but it's like the one about like he doesn't pray to God, he prays to Gotti. I'm thinking, golly, God guard me from the ungodly. Oh my God, that's so amazing, and that's my butchered rendering of it, and that's imagine how good it is in the actual song. So that's definitely my number one. That's a great question. That is a that is an excellent Dear J Carver question. That is fantastic. We did this question before. Recognize that. I recognize this one too. How did we get these repeats in there? Let's pull this out. Okay. Okay. We got another question here. Dear J Carver. Dear J Carver, I've got a question for you. Long time listener, first time caller. If you had to pick a favorite television show, what would it be? What about a TV show with vampires in it? Thanks, Elliot D. Thanks, Elliot D. My favorite TV show. That's a tough one. I'm a big fan of TV. Sopranos, Breaking Bad certainly will enter that pantheon. Mad Men up there, probably not top three. Very good though. The Shield. These are not necessarily number one, but just top contenders. The Wire is certainly going to be a high one up there. I was a big fan of Deadwood, Rome. Those are both up there for me, but certainly not number one. Sopranos is probably it. Sopranos might be the one for me. That might be the number one spot. I love Sopranos. It's so good. How do you not love Sopranos? I mean, that's pretty awesome. The fact that I met James Gandolfini right before he passed away, I was very immense. It was I don't know if it was like an honor, but it was certainly awesome for me to meet him before he passed away. That was only like what was it, like May, June of this year that happened. And I think I met him in like April, so kind of crazy. Let's pull another question. I'm loving these questions. Oh, I missed the most important part, the second part of the question. What about a TV show with vampires in it? Well, I mean, I haven't watched too many TV shows with vampires in it. Zombies, I'm an enormous Walking Dead fan. I love The Walking Dead. Walking Dead is a great show. I don't even think it's like necessarily like, Walking Dead itself as like a core show. They could do better. Like there have been down, it's been a very up and down part of the show, but I feel like I love the idea of what The Walking Dead could be. Like I feel like when it has like I feel like Running Dead. I feel like The Walking Dead has like flashes of brilliance that sometimes last like multiple episodes even, but they definitely sometimes like lose their way, I feel, to some degree. But when they get it right, oh my God, it's so good. It's phenomenal. Let's see if we can win $3 here pre-flop. Nope, we get to see a flop. That is sweet. Gonna start here with a bet. The old Redbird seems like it would be fine with me. Get the job done. Loving these questions. These are great. These new wave questions I'm a big fan of. That's great. We've all seen the former run. We started at Dear J Carver. No one knew. Now we know. We get questions like these, which are great. I love them. They're awesome. All right. Let's pull a question here. Okay. Oh, you'll be a happy camper. Because your title says viewer question, pick me. So you're the lucky winner. Oh, I should put you back in the pile now. Wouldn't that be brutal if I was just like, all right, I changed my mind and just tossed it away? That would be so mean. All right. Dear J Carver, bonus points for you, sir, as you correctly identified. Love the vids, Jason. Keep it up. I watched every run at Up Ep, and it is actually helping my online game. Actually helping. Wow, that's so nice of you. But anyways, I'll keep it short. I know you're busy. Okay, thank you. I was wondering what you thought about Stu Unger and how he would fare against today's top players if he were still alive. Well, if you haven't seen it, there was a relatively decent documentary that came out like not that long ago about Stu Unger. That was fairly interesting. I don't really know how much of what people talk about him is like, the legend, versus reality. I obviously never played with him myself. I've never reviewed, heaps of his hand histories. You hear a lot of like legendary stories about how he was like a crusher at, was it Gin Rummy, right? He was a crusher at. So you hear a lot of stories, but I honestly am not 100% familiar with like, what made him necessarily like a poker legend, except for that everyone thought he was really good. It's possible that he was just like ahead of the curve to the point of being like where most online players are these days, which, by the way, this was a nice little turn card. So I think we're going to bet on the smaller side of things, maybe even a little smaller than that, like 18, something like that. 18, and maybe we could have bet. No, I think 18 is fine, right? I mean, we check raised, he called, now here we are. It seems like if he has much, he's probably not going to fold. Calling is all right with me. So at this point, we're just going to shove, I mean, maybe he won't call a shove, but most likely if he's going to call anything, he'll call a shove, given that it's 55 to win 81. We could be dead, by the way. You could have a flush and just call turn. That would be fine, but obviously can't do anything about it when we only have 30 big blinds. All right. Got lucky there, although he did kind of let us get there. This guy seems to like slow playing his sets. Hasn't worked out too well for him, because the other guy got lucky too in that same situation. In a, similar situation at least. Got lucky there. Going to be completing here with ace-6 suited. This guy might just be steaming, I mean, he could have so many hands here, he 2 to 10, he could just be steaming. It seems like a thing that he got his two sets correct. He's probably steaming. We could call, or we make some mistakes there. I'm happy just shoving. He folds sometimes, and if he calls, whatever, run it. All right. Got it done. Little old 10 ball back into the bankroll. So I don't really know is the answer to your question. I think he was probably really good, especially back in his day, but I'm not sure how much better he would be than like, Jungleman. You know what I mean? I don't know how much better he would be than like the Tom Dwans of the world. Like, and I would guess that Jungleman would annihilate Unger, but it's impossible to know, and especially for someone like me. Maybe if you went back to someone that like overlapped and played with both and you asked them, then maybe you would be able to know better. Also, especially since my understanding is that in the last like 10 years of Stu's life, he had kind of like deteriorated a little bit. If you read, I think I actually read whatever book that was written about Stu too. Like he was almost destitute at several points in like the end part of his life, where he had almost no money, and if I remember correctly, like Doyle and people paid for his funeral and stuff like that. And it's actually almost like a unfortunate part of poker. There's a lot of people who have been successful, have made millions of dollars in cashes at least, and end up at different points in their life just broke. And it's kind of sad to hear those types of stories. But money management is tough. No one looks out for you in poker. You look out for yourself, and it's not necessarily the easiest smoothest ride to like retirement, that's for sure. Def calling here, unless all in over there, who's left cat avatardom finally, at least. Not finally, I don't know what that means. He left catland at least. All right, gonna need a 6 or a 9 or an ace or some spades. All right. That would be it. So we're heads up right now. I'm not sure if this guy will play us heads up. We will find that out shortly. All right, never mind. Not heads up. Nicki Minaj over there decides to stick around a bit longer. Happily min raising it up here with ace-6 offsuit. It's been a bit of a weird video, I feel like. It's been like bizarro poker with everyone being like super aggressive. And we were up, we were down, we were this, we were that, and I don't know. This feels like a weird little video. It's a little weird. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I've earlier today, like right before, the reason why I didn't do this video 3 hours ago is because I ended up streaming League of Legends with Husky Mudkips. We did videos on my channel a while ago where we did like an orbit of hands we talked about that he played, called an orbit with Jay Carver with Husky Mudkips. And we did like 8 of those episodes a while ago, and he's like a super successful YouTuber. He has like 1.4 million subscribers, and he does Minecraft videos. So I streamed with him for like 2 or 3 hours, the point of which is that I forgot how fun it was to stream. So I feel like it's been too long. Probably won't stream poker, but I think sometime this weekend we'll stream either Hearthstone or what's that other game? Oh yeah, Magic. We'll stream one of those this weekend. I think that could be cool. Answer some questions. We won't do any Dear Jay Carvers that I'll take out of the pile, but maybe we'll do some. Maybe that could be fun. The problem with streaming for me is that like the times that I want to stream would be like now. At this particular like 5 in the morning, like all right, let's stream now, and there's no one to stream to. I'd be streaming to myself, so that's not. We'd have like 12 viewers, I think. So I got to get on a better sleep schedule and then go from there. Yes, I woke up at very late, very late. It was closer to midnight than noon by a lot. Let's do another question. I feel like we need to do another question. Zoom Rush Poker question. Didn't we answer a Zoom Rush Poker question once? I think we answered this question too, to be honest. I might have pulled this already in a different video and just forgot to throw it out or recycle it. I didn't mean to throw it out. I guess we're folding this here. We should maybe just be open folding this to begin with, given the pressure we're being put in here. It might be a bad open. Great re-raise though, especially since he probably correctly assumes that we're opening somewhat widely and that Slurm is probably at least somewhat widely opening as well. All right, we're gonna start here with the defense with the Queen Jack offsuit. Not the best of flops, but we could win this pot. Check is definitely going to be the green light for us. Ace will probably put ace is like the red light. It's like, just kidding. So I guess we just end up check folding here now. I mean, it's possible that we're folding the best hand or that we could have bluffed this hand somehow, but I think most likely we're not going to win this hand, so I'm fine with how we played it. Happy to have 120 big blinds, 110 big blinds now. Counting is tough. Happy to have 110 big blinds in this game. The deeper we are, the better for stuff like this. So definitely somewhat happy about that. I guess we complete. I would expect to see Slurm re-raise here a good percentage of the time. Looks like not this time, though. I was planning on maybe doing something aggressive like limp re-raising or something like that, but I'm not really sure what I was planning on doing. I was just not really sure what to make of the limp from this guy. We haven't seen that before. I wasn't really sure. Oh, okay. So Slurm decided to just toss him into the muck there. All right. I guess we'll be calling. Could check raise or something like that. I mean, but I feel like calling is all right. We're probably almost for sure going to be in check call mode. If it goes check, then we'll probably bet river. But if he bets, we're just going to check call, and then we probably have to just check call river too. So we've made 3 meaningless pair. At this point, it's unlikely that this guy has either an ace or a 10, right? He would bet those on the turn, right? So I want to check and give him a chance to bluff, pretend that we have an 8 or clubs or 9-7, something like that. I don't really think there are too many hands that he wants to call with that he's played this way, right? What does he have that he limped on the button, bet on the flop, check back on turn? Like, what hands does he have of those? What hands does he have of those that want to call river? There's not too many of them, right? Like, what, pocket 7s? Is that really what he has? That limp the button? And that doesn't make sense to me. So I thought it would make more sense and make more money to check the river to him, but he did not want to cooperate for that. This Saturday, UFC 166. Is that this one this weekend? Something like that. It's either, I think it's 166. Junior Dos Santos against Cain Velasquez. A lot of good fights. I'm actually really excited for that card. I mean, there are some that are a little lopsided, like Daniel Cormier, Roy Nelson. That doesn't seem like a fair fight. I mean, and Gilbert Melendez fighting Diego Sanchez. Again, it doesn't seem like they're in the same class of fighter. However, I do actually think that Gil might be a little bit overrated and that Diego might be a little bit underrated. So there might actually be some value in Diego. But I've got some picks, but I haven't made any bets yet, so I'm not 100% on where exactly I'm going to end up falling, but can't help it. Got a fire in there. I have pretty good access to people that I think are pretty smart about it, so I feel pretty solid. You guys are probably familiar with David Williams, who does the my David Williams, not Poker David Williams, but my statistics friend David Williams, who writes the Blog It Ups for us, the recaps of stuff. He's pretty smart with this stuff, and his picks have been doing really well lately. So I feel like between him, me, and I have another guy that helps me out with research and stuff. The three of us put together pretty good picks. I feel like we've done pretty well in the last like 6 months. I feel since I restarted really caring, I felt like it was a good thing to do because it gave me something to talk about. It gave me something to do. I've always liked betting MMA, and it makes it so much more exciting when you have money on it. But I guess that's true with everything, doesn't it? Yeah, that's true. You're right, Jay Carver. I haven't done any voices this video. It's 4 in the morning. It's 4 in the morning. It's not. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this video. We'll have to do. We'll have to do some more. We'll have to do some more videos with. I don't know what. Some more videos with voices. I guess is what I was trying to say. I don't know. Let's do a fucking question. That's what I want to do. Let's do an older question. Okay, this is a great one. I think it was just a coincidence. All right. Oh, nice. Pocket jacks. I think we'll keep raising the 4. I know we want to make it maybe a little bit bigger because we're kind of deep with him, but I don't want to discourage re-raises, and I'm afraid of making it 5. We might make someone suspicious here. Let's see what happens. Off to the flop we go. Certainly never folding on flops like this to slurm. If all in did something crazy with us, we might be a little bit more afraid, but if he raises here, I'm going to be in a kind of a crappy spot. I'm definitely not gonna like it. Call. I think our hand is just too good to do anything besides raise, get it in, just protect our hand, get value. We almost for sure have the best hand right now, and I think Slur might just like ship it in with such a wide range of hands here, like any 9. I don't think he's folding. And also, what does he have? Deuce 3. There's not too many combinations of hands here that make a lot of sense that would lead and then beat us. So I thought we would just probably raise, get it in right here now with Slurm and probably be ahead of this guy too. So, all right, question. Look at this short question. Look at all this. That's it. It's like 6 words. Dear Jay Carver, I know you prefer short questions, so ... space, enter. Courchevel? I know I'm not even saying it right. It's like Courchevel. I don't even care, because it's not really a real game as far as I know. So I can call it what I want to call it. I did a Courchevel video. If you've never seen it before, if you dig through the YouTubes, I have a Courchevel Carnival is what I named the video. I think I made it in like May, last time I was able to play that game over on the internets. So if you want to see a video, if you haven't seen that, you go check that out. It's a fun game. You get like 5 cards, and it's like PLO rules, but there's a spit. It's like one card is shown, one flop card is shown before the flop. So there's like some weird information you get on top of everything else. And yeah, it's a fun game. There's a high-low variant as well. It's a fun game all in all. So here, this guy raised, we re-raised, and he called. And now here we are having bet the flop. So I'm a little concerned that we're beat here. We might not be, but I'm a little concerned that we are. I'm not necessarily sure if we bet twice that we're going to get a better hand to fold. Like if he has a hand like 2 10s, he doesn't fold. If he has an 8, he's not folding. If he has like even a hand like 2 6s, he doesn't fold. So I think we just check back here. Drilling it would be fine. If even if we don't drill it, it goes check here some percentage of the time and we just win. 66. Wow, that is a lot. I think that there's some chance we have the best hand. This guy has like ace 5, ace deuce suited, something like that. But this hand could very easily be like a 7. It could be a queen that just drilled it. You have ace queen, something like that. So I think we just fold here all in all, but I'm certainly a little suspicious. I don't know if we win that often enough. He hasn't really done anything super aggressive like that before, as far as I can recall. He hasn't really done anything super aggressive like that before, so it's really hard to tell what we should be doing on that river, given that we don't really have a lot of information. So we just assume that he probably has it because he took a line that, looks pretty strong, and our hand is pretty weak. So those things combined make me feel like, can we get more avatars? Sorry, We'll get right on that. Right on that. All right. Let's do. Oh, wow! Look how the time has flown. 40 minutes into the video. That is crazy. Who knew? All right. One more question. One more question. Who will be the lucky winner? These are all new questions. Very new questions. Let's see. Let's pull out an old question. September. That's what we're talking about. All right. Okay, perfect. Anytime you write, when I see the word terrified in all caps, that's what got my eye. Tell me your troubles, my friend. Tell me your troubles. Dear Jay Carver, I love playing in tournaments. That's not what he capitalized. I'm adding emphasis here. I should do it in a voice. How about that? It would change the entire tone of the email, you know? Dear Jay Carver, I love playing in tournaments and feel very confident playing in them. This poor guy is getting just abused here for no reason. However, I am terrified of cash game. However, I'm terrified of cash game. Oh no, the cash games. The thought of losing hundreds of dollars in one hand makes me scared. I like how you're writing this email. You're doing it. Should I have the same mindset for playing tournaments as I do in cash game, or should I have two different mindsets? Ryan Ordonez. Well, thank you for your question, Ryan. Your question is, you play tournaments and feel confident, but you're terrified of cash games because you lose a lot of money. Well, my advice is to have more money and not be scared. It's really the truth, right? Maybe you're not bankrolled enough for it. Maybe you're not experienced enough for it. Like if let's say you've got 5K, which might be more than you have. Let's say you have 5K, so you're rolled for 1-2, but you still feel scared playing 1-2. You gotta just get over it. You gotta just play and get used to it. More likely, you're playing like 1-2 and have or playing like 2-5 or something like that, and you have 2K. In which case, you should be scared because you're risking a ton of your bankroll. And the best way you can avoid oh wow, the best way that you can feel better about it is to increase your tolerance for pain. I always felt that whenever I moved up in stakes and then got wrecked, it was always obviously it sucked, but it always made going back and playing lower stakes easier because you just don't care. You're just like a merciless, it just increases your armor almost, you harden, your skin hardens to pain as you get more and more used to the beat up swings of Hold'em. By the way, I feel like every session we've played lately, since besides the tournament, which was only 2 videos ago, I guess, but I feel like we've had a lot of these very tiny win-loss sessions. We lose the buy-in, get back to even, and quit 20 minutes later. I feel like this has happened a lot lately, but maybe that's just my very selective memory. I think we'll play another 2 hands here and probably wrap this video right on up. This game seems alright, but not phenomenal at this point. Jack 4 of diamonds. Gotta just fold here. Maybe if he was full stacked and the game wasn't so aggressive, we could defend that, but don't think that's the best scenario for us here. Got through a lot of questions over there. We did discard some that were duplicates, I suppose, but either way, we thinned out the herd for the recycling bin. That's right. Don't get upset with me, environmentalists. We're all friends here. Certainly not folding if either of these players re-raises. I mean, if JP ships it, then I guess he gets to win. But besides that, we're probably not going anywhere. All right. Everybody's put in their $4, and off to the flop we go. Pretty good flop for us. The hand we're most concerned about here is Jack 10, right? Because most likely if anybody had ace, king, ace, queen, queens, kings, or aces, they would have probably raised pre-flop. So we're only concerned really with Jack 10, and then obviously other hands that we beat right now. 3 is a very good card for us, so I'm very happy to be doing a lot of betting here. I'm going to be betting a little bit bigger than I would otherwise, because I feel like this guy is probably just going to be stationing, just stationed down. So we'll bet a green chip. If he raises here, we'd have to just fold. There's just no way that we could. I wouldn't feel very confident in our chances. He's just probably not doing it with enough weak hands for us to really get away with getting it in. I don't think. All right, so we ran it up slightly. I know it wasn't the most destructive of run it up sessions, constructive or destructive, really. What am I doing? 25, 40 plus. All right, we've chipped it up a little bit. We've accumulated. We've run it up a little bit. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. Just tell me. Yeah, I liked the video. It was all right. It was late. It was a little weird, but it was all right. I feel like we had another video where I said it was pretty weird, but this was also kind of strange. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. There might actually be another video coming in the next couple days. I'm going to take one of them off, but there might be streams or something. So stay tuned on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube if you don't, so you can be automatically notified when cool things happen. I'll be back with more videos very soon. Thanks so much for watching as always, guys, and I will see you back for more soon. Peace.